Hello and welcome back everybody to Reef. Okay, a bit of an update for you today. Everything's going well, don't worry. SPS are coloring up really nicely, and I'm gonna do a top-down video so you could see how the corals are looking. I have a bit of news. I had this opportunity come up that involves me working in Hawaii for about 3 months. I couldn't resist. You guys know how much I love diving and snorkeling and just seeing natural corals. So when this opportunity came, I was like all on top of it. The tank will obviously continue to be watched and monitored and everything. I will have a house sitter and a tank sitter. Well, the house sitter is the tank sitter, and I've trained them up on all the major systems. Everything should kind of run smoothly. Fingers crossed. There's going to be no videos on my reef tank, but I hope to shoot and show you some really nice videos of natural reefs in Hawaii. One thing that I'm really looking forward to is seeing Lululemon's cousins in their natural habitat. So yellow tangs come from Hawaii if they're not captive bred, and I just can't wait to see like schools of yellow tangs and Achilles tangs swimming all harmoniously together. So that's it. It's it's a little bit weird leaving the tank for that long, and I've never gone away. The longest I've gone away from my tank was about 3.5 weeks, and things almost went sideways when my apex kind of failed, but I had my neighbor and reef buddy Wally come in and step in, and things worked. He fixed the issue right away. I have been planning for the strip for a while. It wasn't like a spontaneous strip and everything. So hopefully with all the planning and all the manuals that I did about how to run the tank and all the training for my tank sitter, things will continue looking as good. Actually, hopefully better, because the tank has been looking a little bit crappy, as you've seen in the past few videos. So I'm curious to actually see how well, I try not to tinker, but I do tinker. And I'm curious to see how well, following a set of just instructions and not tinkering with anything, whether it will lead to a big change in the tank in a positive way. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing how the tank will look like when I get back. Hopefully it will look nice and bright and colorful, and not like my casualties up there. Okay, so let's maybe have a couple of views from the side here before we do the top-down tour. Love these side views. Again, all of my MP40s are on the back, so you get to appreciate the length of the tank and have unobstructed views from the front all the way to the end. The fish, when they're expecting food whenever they see me, but sorry guys. I really like the school of these blue-eyed cardinals. I think they're really cool. They kind of hang around. They don't fight like my Chromis school did. And they're really pretty with their blue eyes. So the corals are recovering really nicely. I'm very happy for that. Polyps are out. I'm starting to see colors that I haven't seen since the move, right? So some corals here haven't looked this good since they were in my Red Sea Reefer 250. Okay, so let me stop this side views and take off the lid, and let's have a little quick tour of my SPS collection, kind of like the before pre-Hawaii tour, and that way when I come back we'll compare growth and how fast things have changed in 3 months. So let's start the top-down tour with the Hawkins Echinata. This is looking really good and recovering nicely. It did have a lot of burned tips, but the algae is going away, so that's great. The Fox Flame is looking really great. I mean, you see the pink, you see the yellow tips, and this was brown a couple of weeks ago, so I'm really happy with how fast it's recovering. Certainly things are going in the right direction. And above it here is Jason Fox Solar Flare, and was brighter before the mishap, but I'm starting to see some of the orange and the flare come back. Next is one of my several PC rainbow corals that all look brown and yucky. This colony didn't really do well during the move, so I'm hoping that it will recover. Below it is Jimmy Bean, which is also recovering a little bit. It was all green for the past month or so, but I'm starting to see some of the color and the red coming back. Then we have Orange Passion. Thankfully, it's looking pretty good. I mean, not as bright as it used to be, but it didn't seem to have suffered a lot during the mishap. And then here's my electric Miyagi Tort, which is looking all yucky and brown. I'm playing around with the placement of my flower pot corals because obviously I have the flow high up and they get blown around a lot. So I'm moving them around to kind of find an area where they're getting a little bit of a break from the flow. Same with my Euphilia garden here. I have a hammer, octospawn, and a fragspawn, and I'm moving them around. And I think this is probably one of the best spots for them in terms of getting a little bit break from the flow. Then on the bottom here, we have one of my TNT and Acroporas. Honestly, not doing great in that spot, but I have another one that hopefully will do a little bit better. Reef Raft Marvin the Martian. This is recovering nicely. If you saw my last video, there was a lot of burnt tips and algae growing on the tips, and I'm starting to kind of see the algae receding, and the colony seems to be pretty happy. Pink Cadillac on the bottom. Again, not the greatest colors, but I'm hoping that as it kind of reaches up a little bit, it will start to color. I have it in that spot because it is a fast grower and I don't want to put it in the top shelf and have it take over. Then we have a little frag of Reef Raft Wolverine. It did lose a bit of its brightness, but you can see it's encrusting and it's doing well. And on top of it is Bubblegum Digitata. Again, this, the crown was all dead. Had some serious burnt tips and algae growing, but I trimmed them back and it seems to be recovering nicely. On top here we have the Walt Disney. It's a little bit hard to focus, so I'm gonna zoom out a little bit and see whether that helps. It's this thing has never really done great in my tank, but at least it's not getting worse. So maybe a 3-month away will do it some good. Then we have a nice little frag of Reef Raft Rosa Diamante, I believe, encrusting. I got it as a small little frag, but I'm thankful that it didn't lose too much of its color, and you see that it's encrusting a little bit. And right beside it is my pink lemonade colony, and it's doing really well. You can see it's basing out nicely, and the color seemed to be kind of in good shape. This is my Reef Raft Pot of Gold Millie. Actually, it's funny. All of my millies, when the mishap happened, they just turned green on me. It's the funniest thing. This is supposed to be kind of a sunset style millipora. It had a lot of dead tips that I trimmed back, and it's I think recovering and it's basing out a little bit. So I think it's heading in the right place. On top here we have the Bonsai Valida, and you can see some signs of incrustation and it's coloring up. And next to it is a green Slimer, which, it's looking like a champ. The green Slimer is proving to be bulletproof. Here is one colony that I'm really sad about. This was my Jason Fox Jolt. You could see it really kind of browned out. Hopefully it will recover. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing this colony when I get back from my Hawaii trip, and hopefully we'll all be blue again. And maybe I'll get some of those red polyps that the colonies is known for. Moving to the side rock here, we have a Major Laser. Seems to be in good shape. The Strawberry Shortcake, you see some of the tips have kind of got a little bit burnt when I had the mishap, but I'm thankful that it still has the nice neon green flesh and cherry pink tips. Then we have Cherry Pop, which I think is looking really good. I added a couple of pieces of putty because there is a snail that loves to kind of knock it off, so hopefully the putty will kind of keep it into place. But it's encrusting and it's coloring up nicely. This was a Sunset Millie. Again, went all green. The tips were all burnt, so I had to kind of hack them off, but I think it's recovering. And this was a Rainbow Millie. Again, all of the Millies during the mishap, they all look the same, just kind of yucky green. But hopefully, as they recover, they'll get their colors back. The Cali Tort, again, was in bad shape, but if you saw the last video, it was kind of covered in algae. I trimmed off a lot of the dead pieces, and I think it's recovering and getting its colors back. So fingers crossed. Here is the Reef Raft rainbow loom. You could see it's encrusting. It hasn't gotten its pink tips, but it's looking good. And my favorite, this is the reef raft magma. I'm thankful that it kind of didn't deteriorate during the mishap, and you could see that it's basing out a little bit. So I have high hopes for the magma. It's fire. Then we have the reef. No, this is WWC Little Red Ferrari. I thought I was going to lose this one for sure. I thought it was going to SDN on me, but it's hanging in there. Not the greatest colors, but it's I think it will recover nicely. And again, one of my several frags of PC Rainbow that look, not like a rainbow, but just like brown caca for the moment. But hopefully they'll get back and get their colors back. And this is, again, jaw dropper, not, suffered a little bit, but you can see it's basing out, and some of the golden colors are coming back. My other frag of TNT and Acropora, maybe not the greatest colors, but we'll see how it develops. And then I have the blueberry wine on the right here, and while it's a little bit pale, you still see some of the blue coming back, and another frag of PC Rainbow that is not doing too great. And then on the bottom here, I have the OG brain coral that I got like literally for my first coral in my Red Sea Reef for 250. And then this is my second one, the Westlophilia, looking good, I think. All right, folks. So hopefully you enjoyed this top-down tour, and hopefully in 3 months' time, I'll come back and we'll do another top-down tour, and we'll get to see lots and lots and lots of fabulous colors and an explosion of growth, and not not a collection of white beautiful Acropora. Having a reef tank, the way I see it, it is a lot of work, but I don't want it to kind of prevent me from seeing nature and enjoying traveling. So I'm not going to try to kind of let the tank dictate every aspect of my life. It's good to still kind of be able to enjoy other things as well. And coral reefs are precious things, and if you have an opportunity to actually kind of like see them in nature, definitely go for it, because I hate to say this, it's really kind of sad how fast they are deteriorating, and we might be the last generation, or our kids might be the last generation to actually see like coral reefs in nature. So do get out there and enjoy natural reefs, and let them inspire you to kind of be a better reefer and be a better steward of your corals, but also our oceans. Okay, everybody, I will still see you around with hopefully beautiful footage from Hawaii. I'll see you later. Have fun. Enjoy your reefs.